So, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. This is Hyper Japan from London with our special guest today, Nano. Nano is a Japanese bilingual singer born in New York. In 2010, Nano began sharing English covers of Japanese songs on sites such as YouTube and quickly received a positive response from viewers around the world. In March 2012, Nano made their professional debut with the release of their first album, Nano. Nano ranked 10th in the Daily Oricon charts on the first day of release. Following that, they released several high-charting albums, including sold-out tours and concerts. Recently, Nano has been performing internationally in Germany, Taiwan, and the USA. We were looking forward to welcoming her to the UK, but hopefully she will be back next year for a future Hyper Japan event. So, without any further ado, here is Nano. Oh, there we go. Hi, Nano.
Hi, how are you? Thank you for having me. This is Nano.
It's great to see you.
It's great to
And
see you guys. Thank you so much. Konnichiwa, Nano desu.
so, first of all, how's it going? Where are you right now?
I happen to be in the safety of my room. As you can see, these are all cards and postcards that I received from my fans. This is my room. Hi, everyone.
Wow, so those are all fan art and gifts and stuff from
Yes,
all over the world.
all over the world. Yes.
Uh, that's incredible. So we just mentioned you've been all over the world. You went to Taiwan, the USA. How
Mhm.
was it going out and meeting people, meeting fans in all those different areas?
Oh, wow. The countries you mentioned are just a few of the countries that I've been able to visit over the last few years. I've also been to many countries in Asia. I've been, in a couple of states in the US, and each country is so unique, and the crowds are so versatile and energetic that I think, going overseas has something very special about it. I also love doing shows in Japan, but something is very special about being able to connect with people around the world.
So in the chat, I see we have people here from Germany, from Japan,
Ooh,
from London.
Guten Tag.
So
Hello.
if there's anyone in the chat from another country, please let us know and we'll do a special shout out.
I'm
Now,
just gonna quickly translate in Japanese for the comments. 皆さん、日本から見てる皆さんもぜひコメントたくさんしてください。読んでますんで、ありがとう。OK
yoroshiku onegaishimasu. Hello,
よろしくお
everybody in
願いしま
Japan.
す。
Yeah. So, obviously, this year has been a bit of a crazy time, unexpected for everyone.
Mhm.
Um, you must have seen a lot of your plans change this year.
Oh, definitely. I know it's not just myself, and the entire music industry is just, going through a great change, and we've had to, undergo a lot of, changes in schedules as well. And we haven't been able to do the things that we've been doing um, in the past years. I myself had to cancel a best album tour, which I was really looking forward to this year. It's been a while since I've been able to tour, so that was such a bummer for me and my fans. But I think this is a great opportunity to be able to connect in a different way. So yeah, I'm trying to be positive about it.
You mentioned connecting in a different way, and I know that recently you've been connecting with your fans online.
hmm
You had
Yeah,
a special concert.
I did. It was my first online concert on YouTube, and I haven't been able to do that kind of thing before. And so, in a way, I think these past few months and COVID-19 has, in a way, opened new sort of mindsets and sort of perspectives about how music should be done and spread around the world.
Um, I know that your last online show was a special acoustic live show,
Hmm.
very different from your usual hard rocking uh, live performances. How did you
Yeah,
feel about
definitely.
doing a totally acoustic set?
Oh, wow. To be honest, well, I've been doing a lot of, my regular rock concerts for the past few years, but deep down inside, I've always been a big fan of acoustic music. And I love, the acoustic guitar, the piano. And so it's been my dream to be able to do these kinds of shows. And so this is sort of like a dream come true for me in a sense. It's part of who I am, maybe in my roots. So yeah.
Might we get a few acoustic tracks on the next album?
Ooh, I'm really looking forward to maybe actually do more sort of experiments with these acoustic sounds. I haven't been able to do much of that type of music for the past few years. So maybe in the near future, I'll look into sort of creating new music in that style. Yeah.
Great. Well, before we go on, we've got some shout outs from there's Singapore, Germany, Taiwan,
Ooh, hello. Hi everyone. こんにちは.
Indonesia,
すごい.
Hungary,
すごい. Wow, so
Philippines.
many comments.
So you mentioned you haven't been able to do your usual shows and touring at the moment.
Mhm.
What have you been up to? Any new hobbies or
Oh, well, musically, I've been doing, well, of course, I haven't been able to do as much as I've been doing in the past, but still online and stuff, I've been doing, more sort of YouTube stuff. I did a fan project called Freedom is Yours 2020, and I made a shout out to my fans around the world to help me create a music video for one of my past songs, and we rearranged it acoustically, and everyone sort of sent in their singing, their dancing, their instrument playing, and we did a really beautiful project together. So that was an amazing opportunity. And otherwise, I've been getting ready for the acoustic live that you mentioned earlier. And so that was, getting ready at home. And apart from music, I've been just, chilling out, experimenting musically, also just doing as much exercise as I can in the sort of safety and sort of confinements of my home, cooking, reading, watching videos. Yeah.
so? Is it yoga, jogging, kickboxing? What's your workout of choice?
I'm not too much for really sort of aggressive sports, so I usually just do stretching and yoga at home. Um, yeah, do you do any exercise at home?
Well, luckily in London we're allowed to go out to the parks now, so
Oh,
uh,
good. Yeah.
I think we've all been taking our afternoon
Mm.
constitutionals over here.
Hmm.
Great. Well, so without further ado, let's go on to our fans. We've got lots of questions coming up in the chat,
Okay.
so let's pick out one or two. I think you can also see all the people writing there.
Yes,
Um,
I can.
oh, lots of people big fans of your YouTube concert.
Ooh, thank you. ありがとうござい
We've
ます.
got
Thank
lots of
you.
praise on there. Here's a good one to start us off.
Mhm.
Atlas Cove asks, Katsudon or Gyudon?
Oh, wow, that's a big question. Um, wow. Hmm.
I thought I'd start with a
Perhaps,
heavy hitting question.
yeah, it's gonna make us all hungry. Katsudon. I don't know why. Katsudon.
You heard it here first, folks. It's an exclusive Hyper Japan answer. Katsudon over Gyudon. Um, Carbon is asking about your next album.
Ooh, my next album. I really want to be able to just for my next album, I think this is a good chance for me to really um experiment and sort of find a new perspective about my own music. So if I am to create a new album in the near future, I will probably do something that I haven't ever done in the past. And so I hope you guys keep your heads up for some new stuff from me. Yeah.
That sounds very exciting.
Yeah.
It's a new direction for Nano.
Yes.
Wonderful, wonderful. We have a question here. So hopefully you will be able to come to a future Hyper Japan event. What would you
Hmm.
like to do in London?
Oh, can I be honest? Um,
Please.
I've never been to London, but for some reason, I don't know why, but I have always dreamed of going there, and I am a fan of many things um from the UK. So it's kind of I was really, really excited to be able to go this year originally. And so hopefully that will happen next year instead. And what do people in London recommend that I do if I go?
That's an
What do you
excellent
guys recommend?
that's an excellent question for the chat. If you have any recommendations for Nano when she comes to London, then please go ahead and put them up there. Well, when you think of England,
Hmm.
what sort of images come to mind? Is it Stones and the
Um,
Beatles, or is it fish and chips?
um, Both. Actually, well, it might be very ordinary answer, but I am a huge fan. I've been a huge fan of the Beatles since I was a kid. And so definitely if I go to London, I will do a very ordinary tour of the Beatles sort of major spots. I also was a huge fan of the series Harry Potter for many, many years. So just being in that same atmosphere is going to be very magical for me. And one of my favorite foods is fish and chips. So I'm definitely looking forward to eating as much fish and chips as possible in my stay.
I don't think you can get more British than the Beatles, fish and chips, and Harry Potter altogether. So we have some recommendations coming through on the chat.
Okay.
Fish and chips, of course.
Mm-hmm.
The pub lunch,
Ooh.
famous British pub. And then tourist attractions, the London Eye and the
Ooh.
London Dungeons.
What is the London Eye?
The London Eye is a huge Ferris wheel, um, Kanransha, that is in the middle of London overlooking the Thames River.
Kannansha.
So
Ooh.
please go and
Wow.
yeah, you must see
Wow.
that. And Big Ben, pie and mash,
Pine mash.
pie and mash, mashed potato and pie.
Mm.
Sorry, it's lunchtime. We're all very hungry in the UK.
I can sense that in the comments.
So just a couple more shout outs. We have somebody here from Mexico as well.
Hi, hola.
Hello, Michelle from Mexico, and Chelsea from Taiwan.
Hello.
Great. Let's see if we have any more questions. Um, Lots of food comments at the moment. I think
You
it's on
must
the
all
back
be
of that
hungry.
Katsudon, I mean, gyudon question. Um, yeah, so if you have questions for Nano, please stick them in the chat. Um, Here we go. We have one more over here. How have you been keeping yourself entertained during COVID-19? Comes from Twitter.
Um, until these recent months, I haven't ever had a chance to look into, for example, like, those online what do you call it? Um movie sort of sites like Netflix or Amazon Prime. Um, but I've become a membership through a couple of sort of companies there, and I've been digging through a lot of like animal documentaries and TV dramas, and yeah, I've been doing a lot of watching lately.
Have you got any recommendations? Anything that really took your breath away?
Um, no, I don't know, but I've been watching a lot of sort of like BBC. Oh, BBC is from the UK, right?
That's right.
I watched a lot of BBC documentaries, and I think they're very, very good quality. So I recommend anyone really looking into like good animal and nature documentaries to look at the BBC ones. They're really good.
All narrated by David Attenborough. His
Oh,
lovely,
I
rich
see.
voice. Yeah. A cool sax player asks, "Would you ever come to do a UK tour?"
Oh my gosh. Yes, of course I would if I could. I definitely want to go to the UK to do a show, first of all. So, hopefully, perhaps Hyper Japan will be my first ever UK show. So, I'm really, really hoping that it happens next year.
We would be very, very happy to be your first ever UK show next year. Um,
Yes.
Here we have a question. Have you been to China?
Um, Not the mainland. I've been to Hong Kong once or twice, perhaps maybe more. I've been actually a couple times. But just around, but not like I've never been to Shanghai. So, um I'm really looking forward to just going to as many new countries as possible.
We have a question here from Dax Bayer 98. He says,
Mhm.
"Which is easier for you to speak, Japanese or English?"
Um Right now, luckily, it's about half and half. But when I first came to Japan, of course, my English was a lot stronger. So, yeah, it was really tough getting into the culture in Japan and just, trying to um, find the Japanese inside me. But right now, it's about half and half. But I still do feel a little bit more relaxed when I'm speaking in English.
That's good for us doing an interview in English then. Let's see. Nameless Eyes says, "Do you have any favorite classical pieces?"
Oh, classical pieces. I actually listen to classical music in the morning, and I do some of my favorite composers are Beethoven, Bach, 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 um, Mozart, yeah, Brahms.
So when you listen to classical music in the morning, does it give you a different feel from listening to, say, pop music or rock music?
I like to start off my mornings really relaxed, and when I listen to rock music, it just gets me really fired up. So, um, yeah, it uses a lot of energy to stay fired up. So, about 80% of the time, I actually listen to classical music or like easily listening or healing music. And then the 20% of the time, I'll listen to pop, rock, etc.
Here's one out of left field. Well, I guess we were talking about animal documentaries,
Hmm.
but what's your favorite animal?
Oh, my favorite animal. I've always been a cat lover. I do like dogs as well, but I've been a huge cat lover, and I don't know why, but since I was very little, I've had a thing for cheetahs, and so I love cheetahs. But in the recent years, I had a chance to go to Australia, and I just fell in love with the koalas.
The
And
koalas.
yes, I actually have a little guy from Australia, and I love koalas.
I think we're going to get a lot of koala emojis in the chat now. Did you see them at the zoo or in the wild?
We went to this place where we could actually get really close to the koalas. We couldn't hold them or anything, but they were clinging onto the eucalyptus trees and sleeping and eating the entire time. And they were just so adorable, and they just took my heart away.
You heard it here first. If you want to get on Nano's good side, please bring her a pet koala.
Yes, I'm waiting for my koalas.
So we have a question here. Jessica Fay says that they've loved your music for years. What inspired you to begin working on anime soundtracks and anime music videos?
Um, Ever since I was born and I grew up in the USA, but I had chances to come to Japan every so often, and when I would come, I would, be glued to the TV because all the TV shows and animes were so interesting and stuff that you couldn't find in the US. So um, I started watching anime on TV, and I loved the thing I loved about Japanese animation was that it always came with music. And music was like a huge part of the animation. And it wasn't just, soundtrack BGM music, it was like the openings and endings. And they used not just what you call popular anime songs, but there were a series that used rock songs or acoustic songs. And so it really, I felt like, was a part of the Japanese culture that was something unique, and it made me love music even more. So that was one of the huge reasons that I really wanted to uh, take a step into this world. Yeah.
Well, being Japanese and growing up in the States, um, was anime very popular with people around you and your friends in the United States?
Um, Back then, it wasn't as major as it was now, as it is now, but there were definitely like people in my school who had an interest in the Japanese culture, and not just anime, but in the Japanese culture and the language itself. And little by little, people were starting to get familiar with Japanese food. And so there were a little bit, quite a few number of people around me, but mostly those people sort of, I met those people online. So yeah, the culture was more of an online thing back then, I think.
Is and did you grow up listening to Japanese music as well?
I didn't grow up listening to Japanese music, actually. I grew up listening to, like I said, the Beatles and a lot of folk music, and um also like rock and roll, pops. And I started listening to Japanese music when I was about in elementary school, primary school, middle school. Yeah.
What was your first Japanese J rock band that you loved?
Hmm. I started watching a series called Detective Conan. You might be familiar with that, Meitante Conan. And in the series, it used a lot of J rock and J pop. And so that really introduced me to J rock and, for example, Bees. And then I got into a series called Full Metal Alchemist, Hagane no Renkin Jutsushi, and that introduced me to J rock bands like Darukan Sieru, Asian Kung Fu Generation. Yeah.
Great. What are some of your favorite J rock bands now?
Ah, that's a tough question. I'm the kind of person that never has like just one favorite. I have so many different songs and artists that I love, and so that's really one of the hardest choices to make. But I really listen to a vast, wide variety of musicians, so I wouldn't be able to pick.
No, we don't want to play favorites.
Yeah.
So, just before we go on, there's been a
Mhm.
request in the chat. Can you plug your social media so everybody knows where they can find new news from you on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram?
Okay, I'll put it in the comments. So, as Nano Music, so my Twitter is oops, nano underbar. Where's the underbar? Oh, there it is. Me, nano me. Yay! You can find it in the live chat.
That's much more convenient for everybody. So we've got lots of koala emojis coming through,
たくさんのコアラありがとうございます。
and everybody knows the koala's name as well.
Yeah, this guy has a name. It's Sasao. Sasao.
And speaking of things that you have in your room, there's Sai Yen says, "What is that beautiful stars frame in the background?"
Oh, this one,
I
perhaps.
Yes, I think so.
This one is a big present from um, a lot of my fans. They put together a message sort of frame for me, and each star has a message from a different fan. And they gave it to me at one of my concerts a few years ago, and it's quite heavy and takes up my entire shelf. But it's so special that I haven't been able to move it. So I'm very grateful for all these presents.
That's wonderful. Was that a concert in Japan?
I think Japanese fans tend to do a lot of these kinds of message board thingies. I've received so many of these types of presents from my fans. So they like to get together and make a huge sort of present together, which I think is very, very um, heartwarming.
Um, Great. What is the most touching message that you've had from a fan, do you think?
Um, I actually do read all my fan letters that I receive. And there are so many different stories that each of my fans write to me all the time. So I really can't say what's the most touching. But of course, there have been messages like, you know, listening to my music has helped them to venture out into the world. They decided to study English because of my music, or they went overseas for the first time to watch one of my concerts overseas, or they made a new foreign friend, or even other, personal stories like they were able to overcome a very big hardship that they had, or um, you know they were able to find courage within themselves to overcome something. All these different stories from different people are just always one of my biggest motivations when it comes to music.
And then when you hear those messages, which beautiful, beautiful messages, that must then filter into your next songwriting, into your next creative project.
Oh, definitely. I'd have to say that most of my lyrics that I write are either about inner feelings for myself or towards my fans. So all these lyrics that I write are very, very personal for me. And without my fans, I would never be able to write, half of the lyrics that I do write. So,
We have a question on Twitter here from
okay.
Radiant Kratos, who's actually asking, so what's the process of writing lyrics like for you, and what inspires you to do it? I guess we've talked about inspiration, but how do you turn that idea into a lyric?
Mm. Inspiration does come from many different things, and usually inspiration comes from things when you're least expecting it. So it's not like, you look for inspiration somewhere and you find it. It just comes out of nowhere sometimes. But I'm a very kind of like I'm not introverted per se, but I usually am a very inward person. So when I write my lyrics, I am usually locked into my room. I like to be alone and think about a lot of things personally. And so I'm a very inward kind of person, and when I get inspiration from something someone has said to me, or perhaps something, a hardship that I overcame, then I usually start writing it like a diary entry, and then all these words start spelling out these keywords, and then they start fitting into the melody, and it's a very natural process. So I haven't really, thought too deeply about the process itself.
So you started singing on YouTube
Hmm.
and performing cover songs.
Yes.
And did you start by studying singing, or did you play guitar or any other instruments first?
Um, Hmm. I was always, I actually started really getting into singing through online cover songs, and um, doing a lot of cover songs helped me to be able to experiment with different types of singing and different types of sort of expression. And in the beginning, it was more about sort of just experimenting with different types of music and seeing what I had to give to those songs that is unique, or is different from someone else who might be covering those songs. But then I decided that I wanted to be able to share these beautiful Japanese songs that I was singing with the world. And I thought that even though I think language is not a huge barrier, I do think that, being able to understand what the beautiful lyrics are saying is more emotionally, you feel more deeply connected with the song. And so that's what started me to translate the Japanese lyrics into English and covering them.
Have you met any of the artists who you've covered? Have you gotten any feedback from them?
Oh, Um, I don't know if I've met the artists, but I've met some of the creators whose songs I've covered, and they always, even though, for example, they may not be able to directly understand what my translations say, they say that they love the sound of the lyrics that I sing and the way that I express them. They say it sounds very natural, and that is one of the most sort of happy things that I could receive from the creators of the song itself. Yeah.
That's wonderful. Is there anyone out there? Oh, well, we have a question from our live
Hmm.
chat. B-Boy Bombjack says, is there anyone out there that you would really want to collaborate with?
I really want to collaborate with not just vocalists, but different types of musicians whom I might not be able to, uh, you know, do that type of music alone. I want to experiment with different genres, different types of instruments, different types of songwriters, and um, producers and arrangers. Definitely just want to broaden my horizons. So I hope that, people who do listen to me now look forward to maybe, upcoming collaborations that might be happening.
That's very exciting. What's the story behind your name, behind
Oh, my
Nano?
name.
Yes.
It's a very personal story, so I don't know if I can say exactly what the story is, but I just want to say that this name is just one of the most special names to me, and I am so grateful that I am called Nano, and I hope that everyone will, love me for my name as well and for who I am.
That's wonderful. That's very beautiful. So we have another question here. Do you have a favorite visual K band?
Ah, Visual K band. Uh, Recently I feel that, in the past, when you say visual K or rock or pop, it was very sort of, um, you know, like separated. But recently, I think that genres aren't so separated anymore, and there are many mixtures, and it's like what is visual kei, what is rock, what is pop. And so I don't think that, I myself, I don't feel like I belong to any genre. So um I don't know what is the recent, what people call visual kei recently. What do you guys recommend, or what do you feel is visual kei?
That's a great question. Anyone in the chat has any recommendations for us? Then please send us a message.
Yes, but in the past, I did listen to. I don't know. I would think that they would be called considered visual kei in the past, but I did listen to a lot of Larugansieru in the past as well. Um, I also listened to Nightmare, the band called Nightmare, and
Mhm.
I recently had a chance to stand on the same stage and also get uh, friendly with LMC. They Many people might know of them. So
Wow, fantastic! So you do get to rub shoulders with um, a lot of these bands.
yes, I've had an opportunity to work with them through events. I did meet LMC overseas for the first time, so it's kind of funny how a lot of the artists that I've met are uh, through overseas events and not in Japan.
There's lots of LMC fans and Nightmare fans in the chat
Ooh.
as we speak.
Oh
Um,
yes, Sid. Yes, I did listen to a lot of Sid as well. Sid and Jan Nedaruk. Yes.
Wonderful. So have you played a lot of big festivals in Japan so far?
Um, yes. I've been to quite a few festivals and events in Japan as well. I actually probably have gone to more events overseas, but in Japan, I've been to Animax, um, Anisama. Um, yeah, they're pretty big and very, very impressive. So I was very, very grateful and honored to be able to be a part of that.
Great. So we've had a couple of questions. Have you had any interesting or unusual encounters with fans at any of your shows overseas or in Japan?
Um, Unusual encounters.
I mean, nothing too
Um,
traumatizing, of course, but
no, I've never been traumatized, fortunately. But I was actually very surprised at how many people knew of me overseas when I went. I've done sort of autograph sessions and handshake sessions, but they're so loving and they're so friendly, and I was always surprised at how many people would line up to greet me. And so hopefully the next time I go, and even when I go to London, I hope that I'll be able to meet new fans and we'll be able to talk a little bit. So,
that would be great. Yeah. So everybody in Europe, you heard it here first. Book your tickets to London for 2021. Um, yeah, where did you start with um, playing musical instruments?
when I was in elementary school, primary school, I had just, touched a little bit on the piano. I did just a few years of violin. I've forgotten completely how to play it though. So, um, and I picked up the acoustic guitar when I was in middle school because a family friend gave me a very nice acoustic guitar, and I felt like I had to, it was my destiny to start it. And so that sort of gave me the opportunity to start songwriting as well. So yeah, I'm not too able when it comes to instruments, but I do understand a little bit about it. So
What sort of songs did you play on that first guitar?
I started out just doing very, very simple songs by the Beatles, very, very easy songs, just looking online and going through guitar chords and guitar tabs online and seeing, what was out there. So just very, very basic acoustic rock songs. I played like Green Day, Avril Lavigne, The Beatles, Oasis. Yeah.
Great. Well, it seems that the internet has been a real um, boon for musicians at the moment. So, for example, you said you found lots of songs to play online, you
hmm
started streaming on YouTube, all these things. And now you're able to keep in touch with your fans uh,
hmm
via YouTube, doing interviews like this and doing your own concerts. Yeah, it seems like a really great opportunity to be connected to everybody out there listening to your music.
I'm just so grateful to be alive in this generation because, um, of all the connections that we have, my goal from day one, even before that, has been to reach out worldwide. That has been my sole goal from day one. And so without, like SNS, internet connection, this would not be possible as I would like it to be. So I'm just so grateful for this opportunity. And, in recent days, nowadays, it's so easy to connect with fans no matter where you are in the world. So I really think it's been my motto, no, to cross borders and boundaries. And so this has been possible, especially recently with COVID-19, and people are more internet active. And so I think this is one of the sort of starts of another musical generation.
It's a revolution. It's a
Yes, I
whole
do think
new
so.
way of connecting with fans.
Yes.
Um, now I'm just going to go back. We've got another question here. Um, so you mentioned that in the future you plan to experiment and try all sorts of brand new types of songwriting and instruments. Um, we have a question here. What are your plans for the future?
Um, what are my plans for the future? I think that within the next year, I'm not gonna be too like detailed because nothing is written in stone and nothing is certain. But within the next year, I do feel that this is just a really important time for me to uh, experiment. And since I released my best album this year in March, I think the best album was a milestone for me and a chance for me to sort of switch gears and sort of start anew in a way. So I think starting this year, I want to be able to experiment and broaden my views and horizons and reach out to more people, um, especially during COVID-19 and, the changes that have been occurring around the world. I think everyone has to go through changes and everyone has to sort of find some new inspiration, find some new way to keep strong. And so I just think this is the one time and one chance that we all need to come together and keep strong together through music.
So the best album was sort of a full stop. So this one era of Nano is complete, and now we can go on to Nano 2.0.
Yes, version up, upgrade.
We've leveled up, upgraded.
Yes.
We have a question here from YouTube. It says
hmm
your representation as a genderless musician is an important and inspiring part of your image. Have you dealt with any pushback, or would you like to talk about that with us today?
Um, it was a really long span of time that I didn't eh, sort of put out any visual image of myself through music. And during that long time, I was able to just focus on my music solely and, and not sort of worry about what my image might represent. Um, I think visuals are important and sometimes visuals can be very helpful, but at the time during those years, I think it was the right decision for me, and of course my staff and all the people that created my music with me. But there was a time when we all decided and we all felt it was time for me to step out. And in order to sort of expand and reach out to more and more people and be more global and worldwide, I had to, sort of start with another new page. And that was when I decided to say, hello, I'm Nano. This is me. So, but I do think that I'm not like a visual based artist even now. Um, I don't think that my visual is the sole reason for the reason I do music, and I don't think it represents me entirely. So, there may have been a lot of people who took one look at me and said, "Oh, that's not the image that I had," or "Wow, she looks a lot different than I expected." But I am human, so hopefully people will slowly start to sort of get used to and accept me as an entire sort of human being and through my music as well. So
Yeah,
yeah.
there's a lot of, I mean, especially in the music industry, there's a lot of focus put on image and
Hmm.
attitude and that sort of public persona, and it
Yeah.
can detract from the quality of the music, the meaning, the lyrics.
Yeah, but I do feel that after having put out my visual image, I have been able to be more open and be more connected with my fans. So I'm very grateful that, you know, I was given the chance to step out one more step to the world. And so, I do not regret at all of the choices I've made. And so it's really exciting what the future has in store for me.
It's another step, another upgrade in
Mm-hmm.
your musical journey. Um,
Exactly.
Namakemono says, "Nano wa nano nano."
Nano wa nano nano.
Is that one of
Yes.
your slogans?
Yes, it is. I've always been saying that. So nano is nano.
Um,
Yes.
so let's see if we have any more questions on the chat that we haven't addressed yet. Please keep questions coming in. We've got lots of recommendations for bands to listen to, and
Oh,
we
yes.
can scroll through and have a look at these
Yes.
in the future. Lots of crying emojis. I think the fans are very, very pleased. Going a bit further up, we have pandas and
Pandas and koalas.
yeah, sorry, koalas, not pandas. Fantastic. Let me find a question that we haven't asked yet. Um,
コメントありがとうございます。質問あったら質問もぜひぜひ。Thank you for all your questions and comments. Please send in more.
yeah, it seems
Ooh,
like
there's
we've
one.
gone through a lot of these. Let's see, what do we have?
How
So how do you keep up your motivation from MK?
Thank you. Great question. My motivation. This might sound cheesy, and I'm sorry if it does, but my motivation is 100% my fans. And I'm sorry that really does sound cheesy, but it's the truth. And I know this sounds really irresponsible as a singer, but my passion is not singing. Um, my passion is not the singing itself, it's being connected with people and being able to send power to people and make people smile when they feel down or when they're in a difficult situation or really struggling with something. I think I myself have had many, many, many situations where music has helped me um, stand back up and get through difficult times. And so that is why I decided that I wanted to do music. And so without someone on the other side who in need of my music, I probably would not be doing music And so it's not something I do out of sort of like a hobby or because I like singing. It's because of the people who are out there, connecting to me and to my messages and to my voice. And so without you guys, um, you know, music would be very empty for me. So I just want to say thank you so much to every single person who has ever come across my music and to the people that I will come across in the future.
Yeah, there's lots of love from the fans coming to you as well. So
Thank you.
I think you're both connected both ways. Um,
Thank you. Arigato.
right, here's a cute question. So, what was your first impression of your band members?
Oh, oh, that's so long ago now that it's hard to remember. But of course, since I was not, I started doing cover songs online through videos, and so probably no one knew what I looked like, and even my band members, didn't know what I looked like. So I think, well, I wasn't really too sort of aware of what people were how people were looking at me. Like I said before, I'm a very introverted person, and I don't really think too deeply about how I look. So I don't know if they were surprised or shocked, or I don't know what, but everyone said that when they first came across me, they expected someone more like macho and someone, oomph, through like the way I sing, all the rock songs that I sing, they expect someone scary. But when they meet me, they're like, I wow, you are a lot more friendlier than I expected, or down to earth. And my band members, my first impression of my band members was that well, they're all different, but it's just that I've never met any musician or band member that um, I was not compatible with. They're all so kind-hearted, so warm, so I don't know, but just so friendly and thoughtful, and they're all like family to me. So all the band members that I've ever had the chance to work with are like a part of my family.
And I guess you're not going to tell us your favorite
My
band member.
favorite. Ah,
That
I
wouldn't be
can't
fair. That wouldn't be
pick.
fair. No,
I couldn't
please.
pick, but my my real family, not my band members, but my real life family, always, I don't know why, but they have a thing for my bassist Kay. He's just they for some reason he doesn't speak too often in front of people. Kay doesn't isn't really vocal, but for some reason whenever he does say something, my family just cracks up and they call him really adorable. So, but I understand that. So, yeah. My family's favorite, they have a thing for Kay, so.
Are they going to adopt Kay, or
Ah,
make
yeah,
him
and
a family member?
that might happen. Who knows? Kay might become my brother someday.
So please specify, says, which songs do you enjoy singing most live in your concerts?
Uh I think it depends on the sort of um I don't know, the theme of the concert and what country I sing in, and um the sort of, I don't know, the season, or it all depends on the concert itself. But I do one of my favorite songs, I do love singing Freedom Is Yours overseas, because I feel that whenever I do this song, it just brings everyone together and the entire crowd just becomes one. And so hopefully I'll be able to continue singing this song with my fans. And another favorite of mine to sing has always been Magenta. This song is a very personal song. It was my beginning, and I'm praying that it will always, always stay with me. And I even tell myself that I hope that it'll be the last song that I sing as well. So,
So it's never coming off the set list.
yes.
That's wonderful. So Kay seems very popular with our viewers as well. So not just your
Yes.
family. Great. Do you have a message for our fans in Europe and Mexico, Indonesia, around the world?
Oh, wow. Can you believe it? The hour is almost over. Wow, that was so quick. Thank you so much for everyone watching. 本当に見てくれたみんなありがとうございます。もう1時間あっという間でした。And thank you, first of all, Hyper Japan, for this amazing opportunity to talk with you guys. I'm really very sad that Hyper Japan, couldn't happen this year, but I'm praying for the best, and I'm praying that it happens next year, and that when I go to London next year, and if I do, I will be able to meet every single one of you. And so I just want to say, stay strong, keep your heads up, and keep rocking on until we meet. So thank you so much.
Well, no, thank you. Thank you very much for being here with us today.
Thank you.
It's a great privilege and honor for us to talk to you, and we
Thank you.
can't wait for you to actually come over and play a show and meet everybody, and Sasao as well.
Yes. I'll bring him to London when I go. London に連れて行きます。
Well, hopefully we'll be able to catch you again at some point before the next Hyper Japan Festival, and you can let us know
Yes.
what new projects you have, any kind of new information you have.
Okay.
And yeah, we look forward to seeing you in London 2021.
Thank you so, so much. Thank you.
It's been an absolute privilege. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. ありがとうございました。なのです。
So, we are going to just give you a couple of bits of information about Hyper Japan. Oh, actually, no, let's bring Nano back. I'm sorry, Nano. Let's bring Nano back. Ooh, there we are. Hi, Nano, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
So, Nano, in the chat, it seems like tomorrow is a very special day for you.
Oh, wow. I wasn't expecting that.
I mean, from all of us at Hyper Japan, and I'm sure from all your fans in the UK and everybody on YouTube,
Wow.
we'd just like to say happy birthday.
Oh my gosh, you guys, I was not expecting that. I was totally gonna switch off my computer now. I was gonna say, oh, thank you so much. That's the end. Wow, thank you.
Can we get some present emojis in the chat?
すごい。まさかのこんなところで本当にありがとうございます。
It's been an absolute delight. Yeah, happy birthday for tomorrow. Do you have any plans? Are you going to celebrate in a special way?
Well, tomorrow I actually have my own a birthday broadcast with my fans, and so I'm really looking forward to spending some quality time online with my fans. And oh wow, I'm gonna cry. Thank you guys so much. I just want to say that every birthday means that I've been doing something right, and I've been doing what I love to do, and I just feel that my birthday isn't the only birthday that matters. Every birthday in the world matters, and just to be able to have you guys celebrate it with me is I think such an amazing thing, and I'm eternally grateful. And so thank you so much, and all the love that you give me right now, I will definitely give back to you in in multiplications through music. So thank you guys so much.
How can fans get a hold of your birthday broadcast?
Through my Twitter, I will sort of explain how to get there. So you will have to join the fan club, but if you do join, you will be able to join the broadcast at noon tomorrow Japan time. So if you have time, please do join me, and we'll have a really great bash together.
That sounds wonderful. Well, thank you again. This time, I think it's our last proper goodbye, so thank you very much.
本当にありがとう。まさかの誕生日祝い。Thank you so much for the surprise birthday. Thank you. 本当にありがとうございます。
And yeah, thank you very much for joining us. I hope to see you next year.
Thank you. See you guys.
So just a moment of speaking about Hyper Japan. And we have some more online events coming up. On the 25th of July from 10:30 British summertime, we have a special Sumie ink painting online workshop with Akemi Lucas. In the future, we're also going to hold other Q&As and meet and greets online with some fantastic Hyper Japan artists. So keep following our social media on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram for our links to any future events. And we're also running competitions on Gleam. You can currently win all sorts of amazing prizes, and all the information for those is also on our social media. Thank you very much for joining us on this live stream today. We have lots and lots of stuff coming up which you can enjoy from your own home. Please click on the link in the chat to see the schedule and the calendar for that. And yeah, please send us a message on social media for any other artists who you would like to get in touch with. From all of us here at Hyper Japan, thanks for watching and goodbye.